If you're a gentleman past the age of 60 and you've been waking up feeling drained, less robust, or as if you've gradually become someone you don't quite recognize, this message is especially for you. Because the true culprit behind your waning strength isn't simply the passage of time. It's actually a form of nutritional deprivation. Not necessarily a lack of calories, but a shortage of the vital building blocks your body craves most during those precious hours of rest. Night after night, countless men unknowingly deprive their heart, their hormones, and their masculine vitality of the essential fuel they need to repair, regenerate, and restore healthy circulation where it counts. I'm Dr. Evelyn Blake. For over 3 decades, I've had the privilege of guiding men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Men who felt disheartened, disconnected, and as though their best days were behind them. And I've witnessed them rediscover their zest for life, not through medication or surgical procedures, but through one straightforward choice they made each evening before going to sleep. A simple spoonful of the right nourishment, taken at the optimal time, can have a more profound effect than anything else you might do throughout the day. Here's a secret that's often overlooked. Your body is wonderfully designed to mend and rejuvenate itself while you're asleep, but only if it's provided with the necessary resources. Many men neglect to consume enough protein, lack vital circulation-boosting nutrients, and retire for the night with depleted reserves, only to wonder why their energy levels, their intimacy, and their self-assurance are gradually diminishing. In this video, I'm going to unveil 7 scientifically supported bedtime foods that quietly go to work while you're resting. One of these, just a single spoonful taken before bed, can potentially help to promote firmer erections, consistent energy, and more restful sleep. And very soon, I'll be sharing the specific food that I like to call nature's gift for men's vitality in a spoon. It's familiar, comforting, and it might just transform how you feel when you wake up tomorrow. Before we get started, if you're truly committed to revitalizing your strength, your sleep, and your circulation after 60, please be sure to click that subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you never miss another valuable tip designed specifically to support your well-being. And if this message resonates with you, please type 1 in the comments below. If not, type 0 so that I can better understand how to serve you on your personal journey. Okay, now that you understand why bedtime represents your body's hidden opportunity for restoration, let's explore the first simple habit that has the potential to make a world of difference. It begins with one of the most frequently underestimated yet incredibly effective foods that's likely already in your kitchen. 2 gently cooked eggs, prepared in a specific way and enjoyed at the right time, can spark a genuine transformation. Number 1. Soft-boiled eggs, a catalyst for nitric oxide. I can still clearly recall the first instance I suggested this to a patient named Walter. He was 68 years old, a retired mathematics instructor, intellectually sharp and very disciplined. But beneath that composed demeanor, I could sense that something was lacking. He took a seat in my office and confided, "Doctor, I've been doing all the right things. Taking my vitamins, going for walks, eating a healthy diet, but I still feel lackluster. I wake up feeling depleted. My mornings just don't feel like my own anymore." And then, after a slight pause, "And my erections, they're nowhere near what they once were." I didn't reach for a prescription pad. Instead, I turned to something far more commonplace, yet infinitely more potent. I advised, "Walter, tonight I want you to have 2 soft-boiled eggs. That's all." He raised an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. "Eggs?" I smiled reassuringly. "Soft-boiled, about an hour before you go to bed. Trust me on this." Most people associate eggs with breakfast, but for men over 60, a soft-boiled egg in the evening can serve as a powerful biological catalyst. This is because these unassuming eggs are abundant in leucine, an amino acid that stimulates the release of nitric oxide, which in turn promotes relaxation and widening of your blood vessels. And this isn't just crucial for maintaining a healthy heart. It's also fundamental for ensuring optimal blood flow to those areas that matter most to you. When nitric oxide levels are low, erections tend to become weaker, less predictable, or even disappear altogether. However, when you provide your body with the appropriate building blocks, even in your 60s or 70s, healthy blood flow can be restored. Soft-boiled eggs are also rich in vitamin D, which plays a role in supporting testosterone production, and vitamin B12, which contributes to nerve sensitivity and energy levels. And unlike heavy, greasy meals, soft-boiled or poached eggs are easily digestible, making them an ideal choice for promoting late-night recovery. They provide your body with the nutrients it requires without causing spikes in your blood sugar or leaving you feeling weighed down. After just 10 nights, Walter returned to my office radiating a renewed sense of vitality. He was standing taller, his face appeared brighter, and with a knowing smile, he remarked, "Doctor, I'm not sure what you did, but my wife sends her thanks." We both chuckled, but deep down we both knew that this wasn't simply a matter of luck. It was a result of timing. It was a result of biology. It was a result of providing a small amount of targeted nourishment at precisely the right moment. You see, your body doesn't necessarily require drastic changes. It thrives on intentional ones. And sometimes, something as seemingly insignificant as 2 soft-boiled eggs before bed can activate the switch that your body has been waiting for. But if you think eggs are remarkable, just wait until you discover the next food. It's smooth, creamy, and just 1 spoonful of it can quietly enhance your circulation while you sleep. This is my go-to recommendation for men who could use a little help relaxing their arteries and reigniting their confidence. Let's delve into it next. Number 2. Almond butter, the artery-relaxing spoonful. Not long ago, a gentleman named Carl came to see me in my office. He was 74 years old, a widower, soft-spoken, impeccably dressed, and he carried himself with an air of quiet dignity. But as we sat down to talk, there was a subtle difference in his voice, a hint of uncertainty. He leaned forward and confessed, "Doctor, I've always taken good care of myself. I walk every day. I eat a clean diet. I even practice meditation, but my intimacy, it's fading, and I'm at a loss for what to do." That's when I introduced him to one of the simplest yet most effective tools I've ever prescribed. Just 1 tablespoon of almond butter before bed. No pills, no hormones, no demanding workout routines, just a spoon and a moment of conscious intention. Initially, Carl looked at me with a puzzled expression, as if I were joking. "You're suggesting that a spoonful of nut butter is going to improve my performance?" I nodded in agreement. "Yes, and not just your performance, but also your sleep, your blood flow, your recovery, all of it. Here's a truth that many men fail to recognize. Your arteries are surrounded by smooth muscle tissue that needs to relax in order for blood to flow freely. And almond butter is packed with magnesium, a mineral that soothes those muscles like a warm bath at the end of a long day. It also contains arginine, which your body converts into nitric oxide, that incredible molecule responsible for opening up your blood vessels and allowing a rich supply of oxygenated blood to reach every part of your body, especially those areas that may have been quietly underperforming. But there's even more to it than that. Almond butter is a source of healthy fats that naturally support testosterone production. No injections, no unwanted side effects. And perhaps most importantly, it helps to stabilize your blood sugar levels. This translates to fewer energy dips during the night, improved hormone balance, and more restful sleep, which is the crucial time when your body resets testosterone levels and repairs your circulation. Carl followed my recommendation. 1 tablespoon of plain almond butter, sometimes spread on a slice of whole grain toast, sometimes enjoyed straight from the spoon, about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. 2 weeks later, he walked back into my office, and before I could even say a word, he flashed a broad smile. "Doctor, I feel lighter, more like my old self again." And let's just say that my new lady friend has definitely taken notice. What I witnessed in Carl was a familiar transformation, one that I've seen in countless men, the moment when their biology begins to cooperate with them, rather than working against them. That single spoonful wasn't just a food. It was a signal, a message to his body that healing, strength, and desire were still within reach, that he was still very much alive. And if almond butter can gently unlock your blood vessels while you sleep, the next food takes things even further. It's sweet, slightly tart, and often evokes cherished childhood memories. But within that deep red liquid lies one of the most powerful tools for revitalizing male vitality. Allow me to introduce you to the drink that has helped thousands of men sleep more soundly, wake up feeling stronger, and reconnect in ways they thought were lost forever. Number 3. Tart cherry juice, a superfood for sleep and circulation. There's something about tart cherry juice that always transports me back to childhood summers. I remember my grandmother keeping those small bottles in the back of the refrigerator, a deep red color, almost like medicine. Back then, it was simply a treat. But today, I recognize it as one of the most valuable nighttime aids that a man over 60 can use to reclaim what age has gradually tried to take away. I met Leonard, 69 years old, a retired bus driver who had consistently made healthy choices throughout his life. He ate nutritious foods, he walked every morning, he avoided alcohol, and he kept his mind active. But one afternoon, he sat down in my office and confessed, "Doctor, I'm still deeply in love with my wife. I want to be intimate with her, but when the moment arrives, my body simply doesn't respond. It's as if it's not even there." His words resonated deeply with me, because Leonard wasn't lacking in desire. He was lacking in the necessary internal support. And the issue, as I often observe, wasn't just physical. It was physiological. It was rooted deep within his nervous system, his blood vessels, his hormone signals, and, above all, it was closely linked to his sleep. That's where tart cherry juice comes into play. Unsweetened tart cherry juice is one of the richest natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that regulates deep, restorative sleep. But its benefits extend far beyond that. It also contains anthocyanins, potent antioxidants that reduce inflammation and enhance nitric oxide production. This means that as you sleep, your blood vessels relax, soften, and regain their ability to efficiently carry blood to your heart, your brain, and, yes, to your manhood. As sleep quality improves, hormone balance is restored. Testosterone levels surge overnight. Growth hormone is released. Recovery is initiated, and men like Leonard begin to feel like their true selves once again. I advised him to sip just half a glass, about 4 to 6 ounces, approximately 30 minutes before bedtime. Within just a few nights, he reported falling asleep more easily and sleeping more soundly. By the second week, he exclaimed, "Doctor, I'm waking up with energy, with enthusiasm, and with something else, too." Let's just say that our mornings have become a bit more exciting again. What touched me most wasn't just his smile. It was the sense of pride that I detected in his voice. He hadn't resorted to medication. He hadn't forced anything. He had simply provided his body with the resources it needed to function as it was designed to function. And here's the remarkable thing about it all. When you optimize both circulation and sleep, everything begins to fall into alignment. However, there's one area that many men tend to overlook, an organ that often becomes the silent saboteur of their energy, their sleep, and their intimacy. And the solution might be hidden in something that you once scooped out and discarded. Let's discuss the small but mighty seed that has empowered thousands of men to regain control of their nights. Number 4, pumpkin seeds, the prostate protector. Years ago, I used to toss pumpkin seeds directly into the trash without giving them a second thought. Every autumn, we'd carve jack-o'-lanterns with the children, scoop out the insides, and discard the seeds. I had no idea that we were throwing away one of the most potent healing foods for men over 60. It wasn't until I met Don, a 66-year-old retired engineer, that I truly grasped the significance of these tiny seeds. Don was methodical, thoughtful, the kind of man who appreciated clear, concise answers. When he sat down in my office, he didn't initially mention sex, sleep, or testosterone. He simply stated, "Doctor, I'm exhausted. Every night, I wake up 2, sometimes 3 times to urinate. By morning, I feel like I've run a marathon. I'm foggy-headed, frustrated, and frankly, fed up." I reviewed his medical chart, and everything pointed to a familiar scenario: a mildly enlarged prostate, elevated blood pressure, sluggish circulation, and diminished energy levels. I inquired, "Are you providing your body with the minerals it needs to repair itself at night?" He responded with a quizzical look. "Like what? Multivitamins?" I smiled gently and shook my head. "Like pumpkin seeds. These small, crunchy seeds are packed with precisely what older male bodies require, particularly during the night. Magnesium to relax blood vessels, lower nighttime blood pressure, and prevent leg cramps. Zinc to support testosterone production and reduce the size of the prostate. And tryptophan, a natural amino acid that helps to boost serotonin and melatonin levels, promoting deeper, more restorative sleep." But what truly distinguishes pumpkin seeds is their abundance of phytosterols, plant compounds that help to shrink enlarged prostate tissue and improve urinary flow. This translates to fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom, more restful sleep, and enhanced circulation throughout the pelvic region. For Don, this was a life-changing discovery. I advised him to start with 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds before bed. Some nights, he ate them plain. Other nights, he mixed them with a few banana slices or added them to Greek yogurt. Within 2 weeks, his bathroom visits had been cut in half. A month later, he excitedly told me, "Doctor, I haven't slept this soundly in years. I'm thinking more clearly, walking with more strength, and let's just say that my wife has noticed a few unexpected improvements." That's the quiet power of providing your body with the essential minerals it's been lacking. Something so small, yet so vital. And when your prostate calms down, your sleep deepens, and your energy returns, your entire system begins to harmonize. But what if we could take things even further? What if there were a creamy, familiar food already in your refrigerator that not only promotes healthy blood flow, but also delivers 2 distinct types of protein to help rebuild your strength throughout the night? Allow me to introduce you to the bedtime powerhouse that most men never give a second thought to. Number 5. Greek yogurt, dual protein for nighttime repair. Robert was one of those men who commanded attention from across the room. Broad shoulders, a confident handshake, the kind of presence that once led a football team. He had spent decades coaching high school athletes, teaching young men how to stand tall and push past their limitations. But when he came into my office at 70 years old, I detected something different in his eyes. He still possessed the strength in his frame, but there was a subtle heaviness in the way he carried himself. He looked at me and confided, "Doctor, I love my life. I love my wife, but lately I feel like I'm just going through the motions. My sleep is restless, my mornings are sluggish, and my body just doesn't recover the way it used to." He hesitated before adding, "And truthfully, I feel like the spark is gone." I asked him one simple question: "What do you typically eat before bed?" He looked surprised. "Eat before bed? Nothing. I always thought that was unhealthy." I hear that misconception more often than you might imagine. It's one of the most detrimental myths for men over 60, because when timed and chosen wisely, a small bedtime meal can completely transform the way your body repairs and rejuvenates itself throughout the night. That's when I told Robert about Greek yogurt. Cool, creamy, and often underestimated, Greek yogurt is one of the best foods a man can consume before bed. It delivers a powerful 1-2 punch: whey protein, which is rapidly absorbed and helps to kickstart muscle repair early in your sleep cycle, and casein protein, which digests slowly and provides your body with a sustained release of amino acids for up to 8 hours. This steady stream of nutrition is crucial for men over 60, whose natural muscle breakdown tends to increase overnight. But the benefits extend far beyond muscle repair. Greek yogurt is rich in calcium, which supports healthy blood pressure and vascular relaxation, both essential for promoting nighttime circulation. It's also packed with B vitamins, which help to regulate energy levels, nerve sensitivity, and testosterone metabolism. And when you pair it with chia seeds, berries, or a drizzle of raw honey, it becomes a complete nighttime tonic that supports hormone balance, healthy blood flow, and restful sleep. Robert took my advice to heart. Each night, about an hour before bed, he prepared a small bowl, Greek yogurt, a spoonful of chia seeds, a dash of cinnamon, and a few banana slices. Within 3 weeks, he returned to my office and exclaimed, "Doctor, I wake up feeling ready now. I don't just get through the day, I lead it." That's what happens when your body finally receives the raw materials it needs, precisely when it needs them most. And that's why this isn't just about food. It's about timing, about respect, about nourishing the man you still are on the inside. But if Greek yogurt is your nighttime coach, the next food might be your silent strength trainer, an old-fashioned favorite that's making a powerful comeback for men who want to rebuild muscle, stamina, and even morning confidence. Let's explore it. Number 6. Cottage cheese, the silent muscle builder. There's something humble, even old-fashioned, about cottage cheese. It's not trendy, it's not flashy. It's the kind of food that your parents probably kept in the refrigerator, perhaps with a spoon already inserted. But don't let its simplicity deceive you. For men over 60, cottage cheese can quietly become one of the most effective tools in your nighttime healing arsenal. And I've witnessed it time and time again. Take Frank, for example. He was 72 years old, a retired mechanic who had spent his entire life working with his hands, building, fixing, providing. He still possessed the calloused palms and firm grip to prove it. But lately, he confided, things had been changing. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like my body has clocked out without telling me. My balance is off, my grip is weaker, and at night, well, it's like I'm not even inhabiting my own skin anymore. Frank wasn't searching for a miracle. He wasn't interested in quick fixes. He simply wanted to feel solid again. Genuine strength, earned strength. And that's when I told him, Frank, your body wants to rebuild, but it needs the necessary materials. And it turns out that one of the best blueprints is sitting right there in your refrigerator. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein, which digests slowly over several hours, releasing a steady stream of amino acids while you sleep. That's crucial, because after 60, muscle breakdown occurs more rapidly, and without nighttime protein, your body struggles to repair what it loses. Cottage cheese also contains leucine, an essential amino acid that activates the switch for muscle growth and supports nitric oxide production, which means improved blood flow, even to those areas that feel forgotten. It's also high in calcium, which supports blood vessel relaxation and stable heart rhythms throughout the night. And if you add a dash of cinnamon or a few berries, you're providing your body with a final boost of antioxidants and blood sugar balance before the day ends. Frank decided to give it a try, half a cup of cottage cheese about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. No fuss, no effort, just a simple habit. Within 3 weeks, he returned with a sparkle in his eyes that I hadn't seen before. Doctor, he exclaimed, I'm sleeping through the night now. My hands feel steadier. I feel like my body is finally on my side again. And my wife, she's been giving me that look that I haven't seen in years. It's truly remarkable how something so small, so unassuming, can spark such a profound transformation in a man's life. And that's the beauty of genuine nutrition. It doesn't shout, it works quietly, deeply, precisely where you need it most. But what if you could combine all of these healing ingredients, your protein, your nitric oxide boosters, your hormone supporters, into one smooth, powerful nighttime shake? Up next, I'll share the exact formula that I've given to hundreds of men to help them revitalize their strength while they sleep. Number 7, the Rebuilding Shake, my personal prescription. Some of the most meaningful moments in my practice don't take place during physical exams or lab reviews. They happen during quiet conversations, man to man, when a patient leans forward, lowers his voice, and says something like, Doctor, I'm doing everything I can, but my body just won't bounce back. That's precisely what George told me. He was 75 years old, recovering from a challenging surgery, and in his words, feeling like half the man I used to be. He had lost weight, strength, and confidence. But the most difficult part for him wasn't the physical recovery. It was the sense of feeling disconnected from himself, as if his body had become something unfamiliar, unresponsive. I could see it in the way he sat, the hesitation in his voice, and I knew exactly what he needed. I didn't hand him a list of supplements or another exercise plan. Instead, I gave him a simple but effective formula, a bedtime shake that has become my personal prescription for men who need to rebuild from the inside out. The foundation is high-quality, unsweetened whey protein. It's quickly digested and rich in essential amino acids, helping your body to kickstart muscle repair and tissue recovery the moment you fall asleep. Next comes collagen peptides, often overlooked, but absolutely vital for men over 60. Collagen supports the lining of your blood vessels, your joints, your skin, and your connective tissues. Without an adequate supply, strength and flexibility gradually diminish. Finally, I add 3 grams of leucine, a key amino acid that acts like the ignition switch for muscle growth. Even in older men, leucine can signal to your body that it's time to rebuild. You can blend it all with unsweetened almond milk for healthy fats. Add a pinch of cinnamon to stabilize blood sugar and a dash of sea salt to help with nighttime hydration and electrolyte balance. That's all there is to it. No gimmicks, just real, targeted nutrition that works while you sleep. George committed to the routine. Every night, about an hour before bed, he drank his shake. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office radiating a completely different energy. His shoulders were back, his handshake was firm, and his voice was more vibrant. Doctor, he exclaimed, I'm not just feeling better, I'm rebuilding. And that's the power of timing and intention. When you give your body what it's been missing, when you fuel it before bed instead of starving it, everything begins to shift. Strength returns, sleep deepens, and confidence rises. You don't have to feel trapped in a state of decline. You simply need to give your biology a reason to fight for you once again. But even with all of these potent tools, eggs, yogurt, pumpkin seeds, cherry juice, almond butter, cottage cheese, and this shake, many men still struggle. Why? Because they're missing the final piece of the puzzle. It's not just about what you eat at night, it's about the strategy behind it. And that's precisely what I want to share with you next. Number 8. Why most men fail. The missing nighttime strategy. I've encountered so many wonderful men who were doing all the right things, eating a healthy diet, walking daily, reducing their intake of sugar and caffeine, and yet they still came to me with the same quiet frustration in their voice. Doctor, I'm trying. I've made changes, but I still feel tired, weak, and disconnected. One of those men was Thomas, 68 years old, a former construction worker, proud and reserved, with hands that told a story of decades of hard work. When he came in, he looked me directly in the eye and stated, "I'm not looking for a miracle. I just want to feel like myself again." I nodded in understanding. "Tell me about your evenings," I prompted. He shrugged, a little embarrassed. "Sometimes I skip dinner. Sometimes I just have a sandwich, then I watch TV and call it a night." And that's when it clicked. That's where most men go wrong. Because your body isn't a machine that heals whenever it pleases. It follows a rhythm, a nightly pattern that's ingrained in your biology. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., your body releases growth hormone, triggers testosterone surges, repairs muscle tissue, relaxes arteries, and rebalances blood sugar and stress hormones. But it can only accomplish all of that if you provide it with the tools it needs to do the job. Most men fail because they don't realize that the final hour before bed is the most powerful window for healing. They skip protein and starve their muscles. They consume salty snacks or sugary desserts that cause insulin spikes and hormone crashes. They miss out on key nutrients such as magnesium, zinc, leucine, and healthy fats. And far too many go to bed mildly dehydrated, placing unnecessary strain on their heart, disrupting their sleep, and hindering blood flow to the very organs they're hoping to revitalize. When I explained all of this to Thomas, something shifted within him. He realized that it wasn't about effort, it was about strategy. I advised him to ditch the sandwich and instead try a small bowl of cottage cheese with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds and a pinch of cinnamon. A simple change, just 5 minutes of focused care before bed. 2 weeks later, he was a different man. He exclaimed, "Doctor, I'm finally sleeping through the night. My walks feel easier, and I don't dread the mornings anymore." That's what happens when you stop treating bedtime as the end of the day and start treating it as the beginning of your recovery. But now you might be wondering, how long will it take to see results? Days, weeks, months? The answer might surprise you. Because when your body finally receives what it's been missing, the changes often come more quickly than most men expect. Let me show you exactly what to look for in your first 7, 14, and 30 nights, so you know you're on the right track. Number 9. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 nights. If you've been living with low energy, poor sleep, and weak circulation for months or even years, it's easy to believe that real change takes forever, or perhaps isn't even possible at all. But one thing I've learned after treating thousands of men over 60 is this: when you finally provide your body with what it needs, it responds with surprising speed. You don't have to wait months. Sometimes all it takes is a few nights of consistent care. James was one of those men. He was 71 years old, a retired mail carrier who had walked 5 miles a day for most of his career. But lately, he confided, even getting out of bed felt like a chore. "Doctor," he said, "I'm tired when I wake up. I feel like I'm just going through the motions. I want to be present again, with my wife, with myself." I started him on the same protocol that I've shared with you: bedtime nutrition that supports healthy blood flow, hormone production, and recovery. Greek yogurt with chia seeds, a spoonful of almond butter, a glass of tart cherry juice, one small ritual each night. Nothing drastic, nothing extreme. After just 7 nights, James reported that he was no longer tossing and turning. His 2 a.m. bathroom trips had ceased. "Doctor," he told me, "I'm not just sleeping longer, I'm finally resting." By night 14, he noticed something else. "I'm waking up with more energy. I feel sharp again, and my morning firmness is back." That one detail might seem insignificant, but for many men, it's a quiet sign that blood flow is returning and hormones are stabilizing. By day 30, James had regained his rhythm, his mood had improved, and his confidence had returned. He exclaimed, "Doctor, I feel like I've been invited back into my own body." And I could see it, the way he stood, the way he spoke, the light in his face. That's what happens when you stop fighting against your body and start working in harmony with it. You see, healing doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Just a few small actions, performed at the right time, can transform the way your body performs, sleeps, repairs, and feels. I've witnessed it happen in men time and time again. You are not the exception. You are next. But before we wrap up, I want to speak to you directly from the heart. Because the most profound truth isn't about eggs or protein or circulation. It's about the kind of man you believe you still are. And what I'm about to tell you might be the most important message you've heard in years. Let's finish this together. Number 10, final message. You're not broken, you're rebuildable. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this: you are not broken. I don't care what your blood work says. I don't care how many years it's been since you felt truly strong, rested, or connected. Because I've sat across from men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, men who had quietly given up, not with their words, but in their eyes. And I've seen those same men rebuild themselves bit by bit, night by night, until they woke up one morning and exclaimed, "Doctor, I feel like me again." And it never started with a pill. It started with a spoon. 1 spoonful of almond butter to relax the arteries. 1 glass of tart cherry juice to restore sleep. 2 soft-boiled eggs to stimulate nitric oxide production. A few pumpkin seeds to shrink the prostate. Greek yogurt and cottage cheese to rebuild muscle. A simple shake to support healthy blood flow and testosterone levels. These aren't just foods, they're signals. Signals that tell your body, we're not done. We're not giving up. We're rebuilding. And it's not about striving for perfection, it's about being consistent, giving your body what it needs, when it needs it, not out of desperation, but out of a sense of dignity. I know it might feel like you've waited too long, like your best days are behind you. But let me share something that took me decades of patient care to truly believe. Your body never gives up on you, unless you give up on it. So tonight, when you're standing in front of the refrigerator, wondering if it's even worth trying, remember this moment, remember this message, and remember that healing doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. 1 small, deliberate act of self-care before bed. 1 spoon, 1 decision. You're not too old, you're not too far gone, you're just getting started. And I'll be right here, walking alongside you, always.